it'll be really interesting to see how that's going to work out. The thing about the Sixers, though, that can give the Raptors life, the Philly 76ers really do turn the ball over a lot. 20 more turnovers to be exact. They have 75 turnovers to the Raptors' 55 turnovers. So the thing is, what I saw against the Raptors last series, when they got the turnovers, they were able to push the break and get you all separated, and they really are good at scoring all points off the turnovers. So Philly's got to make sure they control those turnovers against this physical Toronto team. This series is probably going to go about 6 games, and I'm going to go with the Toronto Raptors in this series just because I'm worried about the bench depth of Philly, and if they turn the ball, like I mentioned, like crazy, I think it'd be a dogfight. And plus, I believe that their length, as far as Toronto's length, can get out to the shooters and give them problems. So, I mentioned as well too is that Embiid shot at 8 for 29% when he was against him in Memphis. So it's all he's a better defender than what people give him credit for, even though in his older years. So it'll be definitely a fun series to watch. All right, on to the West. So the matchup that everybody been waiting for, at least the rematch everybody been waiting for, is probably gonna be the most watched series, honestly, or with the most intrigue. You got the Houston Rockets at the Golden State Warriors. So the Houston Rockets is the 4th seed, and the Golden State is the number 1 seed. Golden State just wrapped up their series, last night. I would say last night over here. But yeah, last night they ended up defeating the Clippers in 6. And so that's how they got here. And the Rockets defeated the Jazz in 5. So, yeah, that series went a little bit longer for the Golden State Warriors when they played the Clippers. Clippers is a gritty team. You got to give Doc Rivers a lot of credit. This is a team that I looked at that when they traded Tobias Harris that I didn't think they was going to make the playoffs. But they still had a lot of dogfight in them. And they had a historic comeback against this talented Golden State team. Came back from 31 points down. And won the games. I believe that was game 3. Very, very crazy game. Lou Williams just was playing out of his mind. Montrezl Harrell was playing out of his mind. He played pretty great. They got a good nucleus talent there with Gallinari, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Landry Shamet, who everybody's raving about, from Wichita State. The guy can really play some good ball. Really, really, really good shooter and got a bright future. So you got to think that for the Clippers, they did well for themselves to try to attract a superstar of that team to add to that nucleus in the offseason. So we want to give a shout out to the Los Angeles Clippers for really making it competitive against Golden State Warriors, the champs here. These teams played. So you had a series November 15. Houston ended up winning 107-86, and Curry was out that game. January 3rd, you had Houston 135, Golden State 134. Close game there. That Houston ended up pulling that one out. No Eric Gordon, no Chris Paul. February 23rd, you had Houston 118, Golden State 112. James Harden was out that game. And March 13th, you had Golden State 106 and Houston 104. No Kevin Durant in that game. Compared to this time last year when they did play, they played in the Western Conference Finals. They don't have Trevor Ariza. This time they had Chris Paul around, who was lost in the latter part of that series, and so you hope that his health is up to par. But now you got to figure out what is up with Golden State, because Klay Thompson was limping around in Game 6. Curry tweaked his ankle on Shamet's foot the game yesterday. So he was walking around gingerly. So you really wonder about their health. If the health is going to be an issue with them. But with Durant, you got to figure out who's going to guard Kevin Durant. Or who's going to try to check this guy? Because Trevor Ariza was the main defender last year, so now You probably got PJ Tucker that's going to be guarding him and try to throw different coverages his way and try to figure out how to stop Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is on the road the last few games. He dropped 50 last night, so he seemed like he's ready to go and transition to the next series. So, of course, with these lingering injuries that the Warriors have, they're going to lean more on Kevin Durant. Even Draymond Green's had a solid game last night. He had a triple-double. He had a solid game last night. So him and KD is probably going to really be the one that have to carry the squad here. Their size is going to be a problem, too, because now you lost DeMarcus Cousins in that first series. And so now they're relying on Andrew Bogut. And they actually started Sean Livingston last night to go small to match up with the Clippers. So makes you wonder how that's going to go forward when they got size in Houston with, Clint Capella and Kenneth Faried and all those guys on the post side of things there. But you really wonder about James Harden, what he's going to do this year, because he has to carried a historically heavy workload this season. And he really didn't shoot well near the end of this series. And so now you got these offenders coming at you as Klay Thompson and Andre Iguodala. He said he's not tired, but the game kind of showed that, you really wonder how he's going to handle this. And I know the Rockets' style of play is really isolation. So they're probably going to try to do some pick and roll and get Curry to guard against him and force Curry to defend him, especially now with that sore ankle. It's going to be a real fun matchup here. A prediction with this one, I tell you what, it will not surprise me if the Rockets do win this series. They do win it in 7, and they have all the tools to pull off an upset here. Golden State's got a lot of distractions with Kevin Durant impending free agency. A lot of rumors him going to New York. Draymond Green is being himself, and Steve Kerr is admit this team lack of focus is not there this year. All this is pretty much common when you got a really, really good team like this, a historically good team like this that is chasing a three-peat. So you just really wonder where the focus is for Golden State here. I believe they will turn around and focus here. I know it says different team, different year, but in that fact, just to make sure the injury's not lingering, I'm going to go with Golden State in 7 games. But like I said, it would not surprise me one bit. I would not be shocked one bit if Houston does end up winning this series. They definitely can, but I just don't feel like betting against Golden State yet. Just don't feel like betting. Even though there's got a lot of things going on in the franchise and in the locker rooms and everything like that, but I don't want to bet against them yet. So I'm going Golden State in 7 games. As I said at the beginning of the show, the other series between the Spurs and the Nuggets is not concluded yet. Portland is waiting for them. So just for a matchup, you got Damian Lillard, who sent the Thunder packing home on a game-winning 3, 35 foot to be exact. I'm a little surprised when I come with that, because initially I did pick Oklahoma City to win. I didn't really trust Portland in the playoffs in the first round. I know they got taken out last year by the New Orleans Pelicans. So I just kind of question now. It's like, I don't know if they can do it. Not to discredit Damian Lillard and the season that he's having. There's that discussion. He deserves to be the discussion in there for a top NBA point guard, and as far as like point guard rankings, he deserves that discussion being the All NBA team this year. The way that he has carried himself and came out with a chip on his shoulder and led his team to the second round. And I really like their chance in the second round too, no matter who they play. I know if they get the Spurs, you got the Spurs team that's very methodical in what they run. You got DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge. They're not really they're more of a mid-range shooting team and really operate in the mid-range game. They shoot threes and stuff like that, but not the way that they usually have. But also on the flip side, too, the Nuggets, they run everything through Jokic. Jokic is their point center. So everything starts with him as far as, like, make sure you run offense to him. He's the ones that's got it. He's the ones that leading NBA's for center, at least for the assist side of things. Really great passer. He's got court vision of a guard to be that tall. Probably one of the best passing big man that we have seen since Sabonis. So you got to give him a lot of credit as to where he got this team here in the playoffs. This is, I know for a few of them, this is really their first time on the spotlight here. So they ran up against a well-oiled machine. Greg Popovich is going to have his teams ready. But I do believe that if I was Portland, who I would prefer to play if I was Portland, if they have a choice. I mean, I'm sure they really don't care. But if I was Portland, I'd probably rather play. I'd probably rather play the Nuggets just because they're youth and inexperience and stuff like that. That give them a better shot to advance to the Western Conference Finals. But if I was to pick and see if they was to play each other, so if Portland end up playing Denver, I think Portland can get them in 6. If Portland end up playing San Antonio, I think San Antonio win in 6. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with this matchup here and see who wins tonight. So that is the game that I believe that started at 10:30. Kevin Rowan's on TNT. So, but that'll be the other game that'll be on tonight, and then they conclude with that. And then Portland will know who they would play. Portland, you get well rested. This series would definitely have been a lot more intriguing if they had Nurkic playing. But you gotta give a lot of credit to Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter is doing his job, and he's always been able to score buckets and get rebounds. So not good as Nurkic, but he is getting the job done. CJ McCollum is having a really good series. They got a good bench. So they're going to be coming to think. But Damian Lillard's one that's going to really make this go. So it'll be a real fun matchup. Whoever Portland gets, because Portland is seem like they're on a different level. Damian Lillard's the one that's leading that train to get them to go where they need to go. So, all right. So that was my quick NBA second round playoff here. This is where, like I said, beginning the show. This is where the real fun began. So, very excited. So make sure you stay tuned for me and Kevin. We'll try to get something to recap the NFL draft. Like I said at the beginning of the show, you can follow the podcast page at Balls on Court. You can follow me at _CP. You can follow Kevin at KevinC2415. The Balls on Court podcast, you can go to Podomatic and type in _CP.podomatic.com. Facebook and just type in Balls on Court podcast. We're there as well. You can also give us a follow on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Windows, Google Play, Anchor, Spotify, and many other sites as well. We're on Scott's The Limit Radio Sports Talk. You can check out this podcast and for the wonderful content at stlrmedia.com or download the app in your app mobile store. So once again, thanks for listening. It was very short, I know. Very well just thrown together. Thank you for letting me speak to you about some hoops. And also, before I close the show, I want to say rest in peace to John Havlicek. He passed away. And so I just want to give him his recognition. It was the Boston Celtics legend. And, this was the guy that was a Hall of Famer, 13 times All-Star, 1974 Finals MVP. He was recognized for the play where he stole the ball. He passed away. So may we keep his family in prayer. And this is rest for a legend. I do know that those Celtics are going to wear a patch for him upcoming in the series when they play on Sunday. So, nonetheless, thanks for listening, guys. Balls on Court podcast. Cortez, C.Paul signing out. Take care.